Welcome to Patchers 53 on the road, and today we're in beautiful Django Fest Northwest 2010, 10 years anniversary of the festival. Beautiful background just in front of the Wicca here, and on top of the 10th anniversary is of course 100th anniversary of the godfather of gypsy jazz. So that's why we're here, and I'm having the pleasure of being with Jorgenson, drinking some good wine.
Cheers.
Little Pinot Noir to start the day. Adel Steam Reserve, Elizabeth Reserve.
So what do you think?
I don't know, let's see.
Is this very good?
It is very good. Reputation. I cannot even get this in Canada. Just a little bit chill, just beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. No, aren't you supposed to spit it out?
Oh, I always spit the wrong way.
Yeah, the wind is blowing this way, so please over
that. Yeah. So tell us a bit about yourself. About you played for so many years. And how did you end up in the gypsy jazz? To be a fan, a lover.
Well,
Django.
a lot of people have said, "Oh, this is your new style. This is something new for you." You know. No, actually, I first heard Django's music in 1979.
Whoa.
And I grew up in Southern California, and I played classical music on the clarinet and the piano and the bassoon, and I was playing rock music on the guitar and some jazz, but more rock. And I got a job at Disneyland, the amusement park there, to play bluegrass mandolin and Dixieland clarinet. I could play the clarinet, but I didn't know anything about Dixieland. And I wanted to play the mandolin, but I didn't own one yet, so I lied and I said I played it. And I went out and bought one, and I learned very quickly, as quickly as I could.
Yeah.
So I would not look like an idiot in front of the public all the time. And also, that's just one thing I really believe in, is if you're going to play any style of music, respect the music and what kind of music it is and what makes that style unique. So I really wanted to learn more about Dixieland, traditional jazz, and bluegrass too at the time. And so within that, the banjo player was named Doug Maddox. Very, very fine banjo player, and he'd studied a banjo player from the 30s named Harry Reeser. We had all of these beautiful pieces that were a lot of technique, flashy technique, right-hand techniques that are very similar to gypsy style. Yeah. Yes. But I'd never seen anyone do that before, and I was asking him, okay, I'm never going to play the banjo. I'm not going to start, but I would like to play some guitar. Is there any guitarist from that time period that played a little bit like that? And he said, oh, Django Reinhardt.
Yeah.
And also same time I met Howard Alden, and he was a banjo player too. And he said the same thing. Whenever anyone said the name Django, they said it with such a reverence that, oh, you know, like you have to hear this guy. Yeah. So I bought a record, and I was also reading articles about players like Jeff Beck, acoustic players like Clarence White and Tony Rice, and everyone seemed like Joe Pass or George Benson or Jeff Beck. Anybody would always name Django Reinhardt in every style. So I finally got a recording. And the first recording that I got was some strange, like rare outtake things of when he was playing the banjo with the slide whistle and different things like that. And I was like, oh, I don't know about this, you know. And then I bought the classic double album with Limehouse Blues and Rose Room and Honeysuckle Rose and Isomuggin and After You've Gone and all those. And I just couldn't believe how beautiful that sounded. And the tone of that guitar, something I'd never heard before, that fiery sound coming out of an acoustic guitar. Yeah. So this is how I am with music. If I really, really love it so much, then I really want to learn how to play it. So I started just trying to learn, you know, this music, and just by listening, you know, over and over. And I didn't have a gypsy style guitar. We didn't even know what they were at the time. You couldn't. There was no copies. There was no modern builders. So I had an Epiphone archtop guitar that I tried to play that on, and it was so terrible, really hard to play, and no sustain and everything. And eventually I a guy came into our band at the time that had an original Selmer guitar, and he was as obviously a big fan as I was, and this was a guy named Raul Reynoso. So once I played a Selmer, I was like, I have to have this, you know, I have to have one. And very lucky I was able to find one in Los Angeles for sale. And so eventually all three of the guitarists in my band, we all had original Selmer guitars, and we would play every day in Disneyland out on the street with these beautiful vintage guitars. But that was all, it was the only thing you could get in those days, if you were lucky to find one.
Yeah. You still have them?
Oh yeah.
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 Nice.
Yeah.
Tell us about about how do you approach a show? You know, I was telling you yesterday, like you put a show on, like you enter. It's more than just playing. It's you know, how do you?
Yeah, I feel like a performance. If a performance is for the audience, it's not for you. I don't think as a performer. A jam session is for you. Yeah. And that's where you just do whatever you want, and you're not entertaining people, you know. And even I was noticing last night, you know, we had a nice little jam session with Tony and the great violinist from Chicago area, and Jason, violinist in my quintet.
Yeah, I saw that.
And the body language of a jam, the musicians are all in a circle. They're facing each other, and then the audience is sort of like a voyeur. Yeah. They're looking over the shoulders, and they're not in the middle of it. It's not for them. They can enjoy it, of course, in listening, and they do. They love to listen to that, but that's not for them. But when you're on a stage, you bands are usually everyone's facing the audience, and this is for the audience. So what I try to do is just put myself in the place of the audience. If I'm sitting out there, what do I want to hear? Mm-hmm. You know, and if someone's coming to hear gypsy jazz, right off the bat, they want to hear something that swings in a minor key. Right away, they want that. Yeah. So you want to give that to them and say, we know why you're here, and here you go, you know? And then once they have that, then you can't do the next song the same, you know, to alter it a little bit, and then keep giving them more surprises. And if it gets very, very, you know, if it's the energy needs to build up, then you have to play something really kick-ass, and then you need to bring it down, and then if it gets too serious, then you need to have a little bit of humor. Yeah. And if you've done something like very intense, then you need to do something beautiful. And each thing needs to be set up, I think, and the audience can enjoy that so much more. And then if you go back to swing, you haven't been hearing it for a while, so it sounds so good. Yeah. It sounds fresh. And I just try to really pay attention to the audience and create a mood and a feeling with each song, whether it be make it as swinging as possible or making it very sad and beautiful. I want the audience to never go, oh, well, they finished this song ever, you know, or oh, another one just like the last one, you know. I don't want it to be like that. And I think if you engage the audience and you get them with you, tell them a little bit about the song so that they have a context. We're doing mostly instrumental music, and most people don't know who wrote these songs. They don't know even if there's lyrics or what the lyrics might be or what the songs might be about. So if you give them a little something to come with you on the journey, then they're going to have so much more fun. And to me, a show can never be a great show unless you have the audience with you, because they will inspire the musicians. Musicians play better. The audience enjoys it more. Yeah. That builds up and builds up and builds up. By the end, you've had a really good evening. And so that's how I try to do it.
Cool.